Hi everyone. Now we are going to learn about John Taylor distortion. This is a very interesting topic and often asked in the competitive exams and also in Viva. We will learn we will understand John Taylor distortion from the T2G EG electron distribution itself. John Taylor distortion is a tetragonal distortion from octahedral geometry. In octahedral geometry, all the metal ligand bonds are equal along x-axis, y-axis and in the z-axis. Whereas when the tetragonal distortion occurs, then the bond length along the c-axis or the z-axis will not be equal. It could be either less than the equatorial bond length or it will be more than the equatorial bond length. So either we will be getting the compressed tetragonal distortion or there will be elongated tetragonal distortion. When EG orbitals are unsymmetrically occupied, then strong John Taylor distortion is experienced. Why? Because the EG set of orbitals are the ones which are oriented along the axis and John Taylor distortion also occurs along the axis. And when the EG orbitals are unsymmetrically occupied, what is the meaning of this? It means that the electron distribution along the EG axis, along the axis is not symmetrical because the EG set is the dx square minus y square and z square orbitals. When there is no equal distribution of electron density along the axis, it leads to maximum distortion. When there will be unsymmetrical occupation of EG orbitals, when EG is 1 and when EG is 3, then we call it as unsymmetrical occupation of EG orbitals. When does this occur? This occurs in high spin D4 configuration, low spin D7 configuration, and in overall D9 configuration. In these cases, we see that this is EG1 in D4 high spin, and in low spin D7 also it is EG1, and in D9 it is EG3. Now there is unsymmetrical distribution of electrons. That means the electron density is unsymmetrically distributed along the different axes, which leads to maximum distortion. That is why we call this case as strong John Taylor distortion. The second one is when the T2G orbitals are unsymmetrically occupied. That also will lead to distortion, but that leads to weak John Taylor distortion. So, what are the cases when T2G orbitals are unsymmetrically occupied? D1 configuration, D2 configuration, and high spin D6 and D7, and low spin D4 and D5. So we see that in these cases, the T2G will be 1, 2, or 4 and 5. So these cases where unsymmetrical occupation of T2G orbitals lead to weak John Taylor distortion. When both T2G and EG are symmetrically occupied, both has to be symmetrically occupied, which means that there is a uniform electron density in the overall cation. So that will not lead to any distortion. So that we call it as no John Taylor distortion case. So what are the configurations that lead to no John Taylor distortion? D3 case and D8 and D10, and in the case of high spin D5 and in the case of low spin D6. So here we see that there is a equal distribution of electrons in the overall cation because T2G is also symmetrically occupied. Here also T2G EG is symmetrically occupied. Here T2G6 is symmetrically occupied. Now here also T2G6 EG2 and T2G6 EG4. So which means that the overall there is a equal distribution of electrons over the cation. So that means there is not going to be any John Taylor distortion. There are two types of John Taylor distortion. One is the static John Taylor distortion, which occurs in the ground state. The other is the dynamic John Taylor distortion, which occurs in the excited state. In static John Taylor distortion, there will be EG unsymmetrical distribution of electron in ground state. this will lead to Z in and Z out case. This is what we have seen in the first slide also. And how can we identify it? Since because there is going to be Z in and Z out, the bond length along the Z axis, that is the axial bond length, will not be equal to the equatorial bond length. So the 4 ml bond length along the equatorial plane, that is XY plane, is not going to be equal to the 2 axial bond length. In the case of dynamic Jahn-Teller distortion, the EG orbital will be unsymmetrically occupied only in the excited state. For example, if we have D1 configuration, in ground state, this is going to be T2G1. So there might be a weak Jahn-Teller distortion, but on excitation, this goes to EG1. So which means that in excited state, the cation experiences strong Jahn-Teller distortion. How can we identify dynamic Jahn-Teller distortion? It is not very easy to identify dynamic Jahn-Teller distortion because all 6 ml bond length will be equal, but they will be less than the expected bond length. So there will be compression along x-axis, compression along y-axis, and compression along z-axis. These three processes will go on alternatively, and then at given time, it will be only an average of all the three. So that means all the 6 bonds will be equal, and it will be less than the expected metal ligand bond length. That is how dynamic Jahn-Teller distortion can be identified. Thank you. We will do some problems in Jahn-Teller distortion now. The first problem is which one of the following octahedral complexes will be distorted, and they have given the 4 different complexes. How to approach this problem? Whenever we come to this problem, the first key point that we have to note down here is distortion. So in octahedral complex, the distortion that would occur is Jahn-Teller distortion. So now that is the first point. So that means how are we going to arrive at the answer? So we are now going to look at the configuration where EG is unsymmetrical. Right. Now we have to see in which of this complex EG is unsymmetrical. We could see that all are aqua complexes. So that means all are high spin complexes. So now we have to write down the T2G configuration for all these. So for that we should know what is oxidation state, d electron, and high spin T2G electron distribution. So how quickly we can do this for all the 4, then we can immediately arrive at the answer. Now on seeing itself, we can give some of the intuitions. For example, C is here it is Mn2 plus. Mn2 plus is D5. D5 is T2G3 Eg2. So there is no Jahn-Teller distortion because both are half filled and symmetrically occupied. So like that we have to quickly come to the d electronic configuration. So now we will see how we can do it. Here I have given for chromium in 2 plus oxidation state, 2 plus is D4, 24. So it is 2 plus is D4. D4 is T2G3 EG1. Chromium in 3 plus oxidation state, if this is D4, this is going to be D3, so T2G3. Mn HO6 times 2 plus, so high spin D5, T2G3 EG2. And in iron 3 plus oxidation state, again it is D5. Again iron will be in 2 plus, it is D6. So 3 plus it is D5. So T2G3 EG2. So in writing down all this, we understand that only here there is a unequal distribution of electron in Eg orbital, whereas in all other cases it is either Eg0 or Eg2. So there are no Jahn-Teller distortion in these 3 cases, whereas Jahn-Teller distortion occurs only in A. So A is the answer. So now how quickly we could write this electronic configuration? The faster we write, the quicker we get the answer. Next one, I have given a very similar problem to the previous one, but the only difference here is this is a low spin complex, whereas all other are high spin complexes. So now this is Mn2 plus is D5 T2G3 Eg2. This is again so Mn3 plus because I have wrongly written here. This is Mn3 plus. Mn3 plus is D4. So T2G3 Eg1. Chromium 3 plus is D3. So T2G3. Iron in plus 2 oxidation state here. So this is in plus 2 oxidation state, it is D6, and here cyano-ligands are present. So this will lead to low spin complex, so T2G6. So here we understand again that only in the case of Mn3 plus, the electron distribution is unsymmetrical in Eg set. So the answer is B. The next problem is the correct set of electronic configuration for metal ions in octahedral geometry for strong Jahn-Teller distortion. So here they have given strong Jahn-Teller distortion, which means that whenever the Eg is unsymmetrical, and they have given these many. By looking at this might confuse you, but what you have to do is you have to identify the places where Eg is unsymmetrical and the correct set where all the Eg set shows strong Jahn-Teller distortion. So you can either do a color, I have done the color code here. You can maybe circle it in the examination. Take A, this is Eg1 is there, Eg1 is there, Eg3. Go to B, Eg2 and Eg1. So only circle Eg1. So now come to C, only Eg1. And come to D, Eg3, Eg3. So which means that in A only you have all the three unsymmetrical Eg configuration, whereas in B, C and D we also have symmetrical configuration of our Eg orbitals. So the answer is going to be only A. So like this we can quickly arrive at the answer regarding the Jahn-Teller distortion based on the Eg unsymmetrical occupation of electrons. Thank you.